Yo, what is up, guys? I wanna. I know I touched about this a bit in my second to last video, I think, or like a couple videos ago, but I decided to make a whole video about it because I'm thinking about it. Sometimes you you hide like something in the back of your mind and it kind of pops out randomly, and today I guess is one of those days, so I need to get that thought out of my brain, otherwise I'm going to be thinking about that same shit for like 3 days, until I eventually tire myself out of having the same conversation in my head. I think that's a mental illness, I'm pretty sure. Well, anyways, this video will serve as, I guess, a form of therapy for that kind of mental illness. And what I want to talk about is money. Now, money is something that everybody needs. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat it and be like, oh, you need to be, you don't need to have money to enjoy your life, whatever. Yeah, but also you need money. Like you need money for rent, for food, for gas. If you have a car, or if you don't, you need money for public transport. You need money for a lot of shit. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend not. But you can be very happy and be extremely poor. Like there's I don't know if you guys know who Joey Diaz is. He's a comedian, really fucking funny guy, and he talks about literally, right, he was when he was uh, starting comedy, he was homeless at one point. He was actually homeless and doing comedy, and like that's what he had, that's all he had. He had comedy and he had nothing else. Bro, that guy is like a millionaire now, or I don't know if he's like a multi-millionaire. I know he has a lot of money, but yeah, that guy is very wealthy and he's living his life. He's been doing comedy for uh, like 20, 30 years or something. That's a lot. That's a long time, bro. And he went from being homeless to having a family. It's not always about money. And I like to I like to talk about subjects that affect me and that I've had to deal with personally. So I want to just sprinkle in a little story time for you guys. I On multiple occasions in my life, I've had people tell me that, oh, you're gonna be a millionaire, or oh, you're gonna be wealthy. Like I had this computer science class, and this teacher, he asked me my age, and he was like, oh, or he started asking me a bunch of questions and shit like that, and yeah, this was a while back, and he was like, oh, this guy's gonna be wealthy. Like he said that in front of the whole class, and when he said that, I was like, I don't want to be wealthy. I want to be happy. You know, fuck the money. I want to, like, I can't imagine waking up one day and seeing like 3 billion in my account and seeing how fucking miserable I am. Like sometimes I imagine that's like my worst. That's my worst nightmare. That's actually like my biggest fear, because I know a lot of job. Like I could have. I'm 19, right? I finished school when I was 17. If I would have done like a random fucking I don't know, like well, what's it called, fucking like a physically demanding job, like construction, or welding, or I don't like, one of those jobs, right? A blue collar job. Or if I would have gone to college and I would have been done with, almost with my major, I mean, I could be making money right now. Like I'm still making decent money at work. It's not, it's like minimum wage, but steady money is better than no money, as they say. But I realized, like, I looked at my bank account the other day, and I'm like, I'm still fucking miserable, bro. And miserable is the wrong word, but I'm not content with my life. I think miserable is a bit too much. Is a bit of an exaggeration on my part, but sometimes I do feel miserable. Like at work, I'm like, yo, this is not a life to have, you know? And same thing yesterday. It's funny that I'm talking about this today, because yesterday at work there was a guy who came in, and he started talking about his job. Like one of those customers that always just talks too much. Like me, I'm not really that much of a people person, so it's kind of like a curse that I'm a cashier and that I have to like talk to a bunch of people during the day. So I'm like overly fucking social. I hate it. It's like forcing an introvert to be an outrovert. I hate it. And he start like he started talking to me about his job. He's like, "Oh my God, I'm making like so much money and shit like that." And I'm like, "Okay, good for you, man." And honestly, I'm one of those people who doesn't really like talking with customers. Like, I'm the type of guy just my mentality is just take your shit, pay your shit, and get the fuck out the store. That's all. That's all I want. I just want the next customer, especially when there's like a line behind you. You're like, bro, shut up. I'm trying to get out. Like, I got my break in 10 minutes. I don't want to deal with this shit right now. But yeah, he came in, started talking about money, and like I realized how obsessed with money some people are, and like it completely fucks them up mentally. It's like the ring from Lord of the Rings. It like possesses them. It possesses people. Like bosses at work. My boss at work is fucking obsessed with money, and I get it. If you own a business, you need to be, but like he's an asshole. Like he's a fucking dickhead because of money. Because that's what money make that. That's what money turns people into. Like I'm sure when that guy was like 15, he was a cool guy. But I guess money and work and running a business caused him to be a fucking dickhead. And that's the unfortunate reality of things and of like the I guess the adult world as some people would call it is that you realize like that's all people care about. And I've been thinking of how about how useless money is. Like I've been thinking a lot about like this shit is just numbers sitting in my account and like allowing me to get stuff that I don't even really want. You know what I'm saying? Like if I like let's say my tuition is I don't know like 6,000. I don't know if that's a lot for tuition, but anyways, I need 6,000. Okay, I get 6,000. I pay that shit, and then I'm just doing something I don't like, and I just spent 6,000 that I did working doing something I don't like. So you get money for something you don't like to do something that you don't like, in the hopes of getting a future and of getting money and being at a job that you don't like to have money that you don't want. Like I don't really understand that logic. I really don't. And I get that money gives you freedom, and I get that money allows you to do stuff that, it allows you to not have to work a 9 to 5. It allows you to not have to do these things. But I would much rather do like this shit, what I'm doing right now, talking to a screen and filming a fucking YouTube video. I would much rather do that and live on a tighter budget and not own a lot of shit and like just be, borderline poor than fucking do some shit I don't like or do a job I don't like. I would much rather do that because, like, yeah, you get the money, but what happens after? What happens when you're, 65, right? And you're like, there's a really good book I'm reading right now. It's called The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, I think. And he there's a passage in it, right? One of the chapters that really hit me, and it's the this guy who's trapped, like the main character. His name's Santiago, and he's talking to this like incantation, or like it's like a spirit that helps him with his destiny type shit. And he's talking about like you lived your dream. You wanted to travel, and now you're traveling. He's like, oh, you're living your dream, and then he points to like a popcorn vendor, and he's like he's worked his whole life, right, selling popcorn, and when he's gonna retire, he's gonna go and visit like a country, but he doesn't realize that he could have done it anytime he wanted to in his life. And I don't know why that shit just really hit me. And I don't know if I'm explaining it as well as I understood it because I'm kind of retarded, but like if you've read it and if you know what I'm talking about, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, you should go read it. It's amazing. But it really made me think like all these things that we were like, oh fuck, I need to go get like a bunch of money saved up before I do this. You really don't though. Like you really don't. You can like I know not a lot of people are as financially free as me. Like I know, I mean, I'm very grateful to be still living with my mom, and she, you know, I help out with some shit, but she pays the majority of the stuff. But like, I don't know. I feel like, like some days I find myself thinking, what is it all for? Like I'm just doing the same routine over and over, and to what to get money that I don't need to do things that I don't want. And I don't know, man. I'm like, one day I think I'm just gonna sell everything I own and like get as much money as I can, as much of it as I can, and I'm just gonna travel everywhere. And then I guess I'll come back when the money runs out. I'm gonna be stuck somewhere, and then I don't know. Maybe I'll come back here. I don't know. I just, but then sometimes reality hits me, and I'm like, you're too pussy to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not man enough. You don't have the balls to wake up somewhere new every day and to, you know, talk to strangers and to experience life. You know, it takes a lot. It takes bravery to step out of your comfort zone. You have to be very brave to put yourself out there. So I don't know. I have a lot to think about, I guess, regarding money and my future and stuff like that. I just, yeah, man. I don't know. I'm pretty lost right now. So making these videos as a way of distracting myself. It helps a lot because it's like, what else is there to do, right? You just pass some time. But yeah, man, that was it for me. As always, if you enjoyed, if you can relate, and whatever the fuck, just let me know. Um, or don't if you don't want to. But yeah, man. Hope you had a good day and shit like that. And yeah, man, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.